I'm Sean Kelly.
And I'm Nick Mankoci. We're your hockey analysts this year for the 2009-2010 NMU Wildcat season.
You can check us out every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. on Marquette Channel 20.
Welcome back. Joining me now are Sean Kelly and Nick Mankoci to preview the NMU hockey season. And guys, the team was picked 5th by the coaches and the media in the CCHA this year. Sean, where do you see the team going this year?
Well, Northern hits the ice this season, returning 18 of their 23 letter winners from last season. And the key to this season is how they start the season. If they can avoid their slow starts that have plagued them the last 2 years, I really think this team can compete with those elite teams in the CCHA, such as your Michigan, Notre Dames, and Miamis. Last year, they knocked off Miami, the national runner-up, in the second round of the CCHA playoffs, and they took Notre Dame to the wire at the Joe in the Final Four. At the end of the season, I do see NMU getting 4th place in the CCHA and earning that ever-important first-round bye.
Sean, I'm completely going to have to agree with you there. 4th place for NMU this year in the CCHA, behind Michigan, Notre Dame, and Miami of Ohio. You have to remember, though, it's just preseason rankings. They started off the year last year 3-12-3, but finished up the second half 16-5-2. Now, if they can continue on the momentum of last season onto this season, I really see them going really far. They have a chance to get into the top 2, maybe top 3 this year in the CCHA.
Even though the Cats were picked 5th in the conference, they had 3 of the 6 first-team All-CCHA selections in Eric Gustafson, Brian Stewart, and Mark Oliver. Your thoughts on the selections?
The selections really indicate the hard work and dedication that this team puts in. Mark Oliver has led the club the last 2 seasons in scoring. Eric Gustafson, he's the captain of this team. He's coming off 2 seasons with over 27 assists and over 30 points. But it really comes down on the shoulders of your senior goaltender, Brian Stewart. Last season, he missed a month. The team kind of struggled and hung in there in the standings. When he came back, he led the team to 16 wins in the second half, upset Miami down in Miami, and almost took out Notre Dame at the Joe. And it really, he and those other players are what personifies Northern Michigan University hockey.
Again, Sean, wanted to make sure I reiterate, accolades, preseason accolades are exactly what they are. They're meant for the preseason. Not to take anything away from Gustafson, Oliver, and Stewart, but you have to play team hockey in order to win at this level, especially in the CCHA. It's a blue-collar hockey league. They play tough. They grind it out when they have to. I guarantee you all 3 of those would give up their preseason accolades to get a bid in the NCAA tournament and win the CCHA championship. Don't be surprised to see Justin Florick's name toward the end of this.
Yeah. Well, the accolades these players are receiving this year are great. Nick, who do you see as the team's MVP?
As a goaltender myself, Pete, I'm definitely going to have to say Brian Stewart. Last year, he was out with a month, as Sean did say. He was 14-13-3 last year with a 2.32 goals against average, 9.925 save percentage. Finished the season very well, leading the team to the CCHA playoffs, finishing 3rd there. He's 6'4", 200 pounds, takes up a lot of the net. He's a big guy. He's really tough to shoot around, and he's very agile as well.
Well, after all the praise I gave Brian Stewart earlier in that, I'm going to backtrack on that, and I'm going to pick Mark Oliver as your team MVP this season. Like I said earlier, he's led the club the last 2 seasons in scoring. He scored over 21 goals, or over 20 goals in his first season as a freshman, and he scored 16 last season. And I really think that he's primed for a breakout season his junior year.
That sure would be great. How about the offensive player of the year?
Well, the offensive player of the year is who I picked for your MVP, Mark Oliver. You really can't say enough about this kid and the hard work he puts in every day on the ice and off the ice. But if he does slip up a little bit, I have Gregor Hansen hot on his tail for Offensive Player of the Year.
Gonna have to say Justin Florick for Offensive Player of the Year. This past game versus Ryerson, he had a goal and 2 assists, but the one goal, he deked to the left and beat the goalie, sliding to the blocker side. It was a real beautiful goal. Offensively, you have to remember they have Oliver, Florick returning from last year, but you can't forget freshmen Corey Canisto and Chad Patella. They had wonderful seasons with their respective teams last year as well. Again, Justin Florek as offensive MVP, but you have to be on the lookout for Ulver and Ray Canisto as well.
How about the defensive player of the year?
I think this is a clear choice. I'm going to go with Eric Gustafsson. He's your captain for this season. He had over 30 assists last season and 27 his freshman year. And when he isn't giving you 100% on the offense, his mechanics and his sound positioning on defense really make Northern Michigan University defense something to really fear in the CCHA.
Again, Sean, totally agree with you. Eric Gustafsson, defensive MVP, hands down. Great leadership. That's the reason why he is this year's captain. Wonderful awareness on the ice and impeccable puck presence. When he's behind the net, the other team tries to get in front. He takes away the slot pass. I mean, he really takes it away.
You see us having a breakout season this year, Sean?
I really think it's a toss-up between Tyler Grahn and Justin Florek. Towards the end of last season with Tyler Grahn, you really saw him step it up late, and he earned the coach's trust and got playing time in the playoffs. And for Justin Florek, he's a Marquette native. He's tall. He's a big physical force. And if you can get him in front of the net on the power play, Northern could have put up huge numbers on the power play this season.
All right, Sean, you know, I'm going to have to one-up you on that. I'm going to have to say that Northern's gonna finish second in the CCHA this year. Backtracking to what I said, I know I said fourth, but I'm going to change it and say second behind Miami of Ohio. Now, it's not do or die, but the keys for them making the CCHA finals and a bid in the NCAA tournament, you have to stay healthy. You have to have great goaltending behind Brian Stewart. And you have to have great offense. If there's another slow start this year, then honestly, they're not going to get too far, not even probably fifth or sixth in the CCHA. So definitely have to stay on that.
Well, it'll definitely be interesting to see how this plays out. The team will open up this season at Michigan Tech Friday, and they'll have another matchup then with Duluth on Sunday. That's going to wrap up this week's edition of the show. For the entire Cat Chat crew, I'm Pete Francis. Until next time, go Cats.